Right, so we're just going to check out the new check functionality on whileylabs.com. We're going to write a little function which is going to compute the maximum value of an array of integers. Super simple function, but it'll show us what we need to see. So here's the prototype for the function. Max is going to accept an array of integers called items, and it's going to return an integer r. Super simple. And let's write the body of the function. So the function is going to have a variable m, which we're going to use to keep track of the current maximum value. We're going to have a loop, and we're going to iterate over all the elements in the items array. And if an item is greater than our current counter for the maximum value, then we're just going to replace it with that item. Super easy, right? And then we can return our value m, our variable m. So this may have some problems. Okay, so let's actually check it compiles first. Okay, and we can see, yes, it has compiled. And now we want to run the actual check functionality. So let's turn that on. Just select the checkbox and try and do it again. And this time it's running the check functionality. And what that means is it's generating a whole bunch of array input values, and it's running them through the function and checking that the function is working. And at the moment, it said it's fine, but actually we haven't got a specification. So we're not saying what the function should do, and we need to add that. So let's think about what things we actually need our max function to do. Well, the first thing is that we need the max function to ensure the value returned is greater than everything in the items array. So let's write it. Return value not smaller than any item. Well, what else do we need the max function to do? Well, we need it to actually return an element that was in the items array. So return value matches item in array. That's fine. Okay, so that's my specification in English. Let's actually code this up properly in Whiley. And to do that, we're going to use the post condition. We're going to write ensures. So for all items k in the array, like so, every item in the array is less than or equal to r. And we're also going to say that there is some item in the array ensures some item k in the array where the item at that point equals the return value, like so. And now we can actually run the check functionality, and it should start to find some problems. And so this is running several hundred input values through our function and looking for a problem. And we can see if we hover over it, we can see it's saying the post condition is not satisfied, and it's passing in the empty array as the input value, which you can see there as the actual value passed to max. And so it thinks that's a problem. Well, if we look at our code, you may have spotted it already. If we pass through an empty array, there are two things here. Firstly, if we pass through an empty array, then it's just going to return 0. Well, that means this post condition here is going to fail because 0 wasn't in the original array. So that's certainly not the case, that what we're returning matches something in the array. And if we think about it, actually an empty array shouldn't make sense for this function. What we really want is to say that the items array cannot be empty. Requires size of items is greater than 0. Super easy. And now let's rerun the check functionality and see what happens. And at this point it's now saying, okay, post condition not satisfied, and we can see the error message has changed. It's actually telling us that an array holding only -3 is now failing on my post condition. And again, we can probably guess that this is because we've got 0 here, and when we have only one element in the array, and that element is smaller than 0, then it's going to return 0. That doesn't make sense. Well, we know that the array is not empty at this point, so in fact we can just read out the first item and use that, and we can actually adjust our loop to go through from the first item like so. And there we go. Now we've checked our function max, and it's passed. And it's run through, the check functionality has run through all arrays up to length size 3 with integers from -3 to 3. All possible combinations, just like that.